Yo, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the 12th episode. I remember this time. The 12th episode of Wrestling with the Bros. Acknowledge us. Yo, what up? Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with the Bros. Other way. There you go. Alongside James, I am Chris. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. It is the middle of the week, so we are here to give you the best wrestling content on the internet. Make sure you follow us at WWTB 2024. That is the X Twitter handle, whatever you call it. Also, hit that like, subscribe button on our YouTube channel, Wrestling with the Bros. So that way, when we go live like we are now, you will be notified. James, what is going on, man? How you feeling?
The rainy Wednesday here in the northeastern part of the country. Ready to talk wrestling. Me and
Yeah, I
you,
hear
just like the APA.
you. Damn. uh, you know
Just
what?
like the APA.
There you go. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Um, I was actually it actually rained earlier today. I was real
Yeah,
surprised, but
because
I'm
now we're
glad.
getting it.
Oh, okay. So the rain that we got is going towards you all. Gotcha. Uh,
Hmm.
and you
Yep.
know, and right before we came on the show, you were telling me about MLB the show 2026 or MLB
Yeah, you're right.
26. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm. You said it was on sale. I'm actually looking it up right now because I'm like, oh, they got a game trial. I forgot. I do. So I do have PlayStation. What's it called? PSN. PlayStation. No, PlayStation
Mm.
Plus. That's what I got. I got that with over here, and they said you get a game trial for it. So I might.
I have the I have the PlayStation Premium Pass. So for
Mhm.
me, it's I get game trials, I get games at discounted prices.
Okay.
Um, I get the classics for free. Like I skip the line in a lot of things. I think it's like
Okay.
160 for the year. So
Okay.
again, not terrible. It's a little expensive, yes, but 160 for the year. Hey, if you work all year long, get 160 bucks, ain't that bad. You
You
know,
know what? I may have to do that next year. I mean, matter of fact, how do you go? How would you go on and pay the full subscription for the whole year? Like, is that something you have to do online? Or like, you have to go on the web and do it, or can you do it in
I
the app?
think I think you could do it. I think you could do it on the system. I'm not
Okay.
exactly sure. I think you do on the system, but why you pay
Hmm.
monthly?
Yeah, I'm paying monthly.
Mm.
I and see the hard part is sometimes is not. I don't remember that I'm doing it monthly, and I won't have the money in my account until I get the notification. Like, oh shoot, you know what? Let me go put that money in the account. Whereas if I do it for the year, I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because literally 1 or 2 days of your pay is going right to it anyway. So then you have
Yeah,
364 days to make up the money.
that's
So
true. But I see it's on sale for $50 right now. So I might get that. I'm also looking at WWE. Let me see, because the edition of WWE 2K26 that I want is I think it's the Monday Night War edition. Is that the one where they have everybody on there?
yeah, yeah.
That's the one I want.
Triple H
And
graces the cover of 3 games, by the way, people. Don't ever let anyone tell you he's not a narcissist. Okay, you got the King of Kings edition, you got the Monday Night War edition, and you got the other one. I think the Attitude edition or something like that. He's on 3 covers, and CM Punk only has one.
yeah, yeah, that is very true. Uh, no, it's not on sale yet. It's not on sale yet. I thought it would be on sale, to be honest with you. I really did, but let me see. For some
Well, I
reason,
mean, it
I
also
don't
came
know.
out in March. Well, baseball came out in March too, but I feel like a lot of those games you have to kind of wait and see a little bit, like when they come out and stuff. But
Yeah, I think they came out like a year, a week apart, didn't they?
yes, because
Okay.
I game share with my friend, so usually our schedule kind of revolves around mostly just sports games. I played single player games mostly.
Hmm.
So that's why, like, I'll have like The Last of Us. I'll have like the Spider-Man games. Um, I'm trying to see if I can re-download LA Noir for the PlayStation 3.
Hmm.
That was really good as well. Highly recommend it. Um, and we just usually he usually buys two games. He buys wrestling and basketball every year. So that's what we just revolve around. Like, okay, one year you buy wrestling, and the next year I buy basketball, and so on and so forth. So that's what we do. Makes it easy, makes it simple. We just literally just divide the money in half. So I give him half the money, or he gives me half the money, and that's it.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Shoot, I need to find me a friend like that.
You got your brothers playing the games?
Yeah. No, my youngest son, my youngest son.
Mm.
So now, are you a digital person
Yeah,
or physical?
I'm digital. So I have the PlayStation with the disc drive at the bottom.
Hmm.
But once I got my debit card, I was like, why am I ever gonna go to the store and buy the game? So
Yeah.
I've just been buying them on digital and with the whole connectivity for 30 days, otherwise you lose the license. I think is absolutely insane. I
Oh,
don't know why these companies are doing this because I just feel like you want to bring people into your business, not take them
hmm.
away from your business. And I've been a Sony guy my whole life. I've there's pictures of me at 4 years old holding a PlayStation 1 controller playing WCW Thunder, you know.
Hmm.
So like why are you doing this to us? Like seriously. And yes,
I
WCW Thunder
I
had a
remember that
blue
game.
disc, and I remember it because I knew three wrestlers, and it was the only three wrestlers that I used. It was Kevin Nash, the Giant, and DDP. I
D
knew who
D P.
DDP. That was it. Those were the only three I would use. Obviously, Hogan was in there, Bret Hart was in there, um, Lex Luger, Sting. But the only guys I would use would be DDP, Kevin Nash, and Goldberg. And that's it. Because I thought
Man, I
my
forgot about that game.
yeah, it was bad. It was bad. But I was like 4 years old, so it was wrestling, and all my cousins were into it. So I'm the little one that had the games, and they would come to my house and they would play it too. And I'm like, you always beat up on me and stuff. I know any of the moves. I know what I was doing. So
I thought that DRM thing wasn't it something like to prevent people from trying to pirate the games or something like that?
I don't know. I don't know the exact details of it, but
I
um,
think that's what it was. Let me. I'll check on that. And I'll get back to you on that. But I'll probably look and see what games I want. Here within the next week or so. But we're here to talk some wrestling now that we got all the important stuff out of the way. Uh, WWE's been a lot going on within the last uh, few weeks or last week or so. So let's go ahead and start with Monday Night Raw. It was actually a good show. It was a good show, good solid show. Roxanne Perez is back. And she got a nice pop during her match. I was at first I was like, wait a minute, she's not from Texas, is she? I thought she's from Jersey, but it was just good just to see her
well,
back in the ring. And go ahead.
you got them mixed up. AJ Lee is from New Jersey. Roxanne Perez is actually
Yeah,
from Laredo.
the-
Roxanne Perez is from Laredo, Texas, which where Monday Night Raw was.
yeah, yeah. You're right. I got him flip flop. Yes, you're right. Yes, thank you, James. So she is. That was her hometown, so that's why she got that pop. I thought she was from. It's AJ Leah that I'm thinking of. Uh, she looked she looked solid in her match. Um, Oba Femi gave out the Oba Femi challenge, and I thought somebody was going to come out and challenge him, but nobody did. So don't know if maybe we're going to get that maybe at Backlash. I'm wondering if he's going to get an opponent at Backlash. But what are your thoughts about Obafemi or them having an Obafemi challenge uh, already?
Say it with me. Goldberg, Goldberg.
Hell no.
It's like Oba, Oba. There's a
Okay,
lot of
all right.
similarities, right? Um, so I think you'll get like the occasional local talent to come in, job to him. Hey, I was on WWE TV and I jobbed to Obafemi, right? Um, you'll probably do that a little bit. You'll probably throw him some bottom feeder guys. Like Kid Wilson again. You'll probably throw him like the Miz again, maybe, because you got to see. I think it's going to be more or less just like the local development talent. I think they'll kind of get in his way a little bit for that. I don't know what the plan is for him going into any of these events. No, we don't really know anyway, but it almost kind of seems like they're trying to slow down his momentum a bit, in
Okay.
a sense, by doing this, because I still believe that Roman Reigns is going to hold that belt for a year, maybe even longer. So
Hmm.
I don't know if they're going to attempt to do like have Oba beat somebody for the Intercontinental title. How Goldberg won the U.S. title, and then he won the World Heavyweight Championship in 1998. They might do something like that with him, because even in NXT, he was a dominant force, and he only really lost like 4 matches. So his losses have been very sporadic into like the top guys in NXT, I guess you could say. So at least you have that going for him. And then I wonder if like they're trying to just say he's going to get there, but we need to pump this train back a little bit so that way it's not just a clear shot to the top. Because I still think they want to have Roman be champion going into a lot of these major pay-per-views going into the next year. So I'm very curious to see what they do with him as it stands. Very impressive showing, obviously, but we got to see what happens when they do.
I do see your point about them maybe holding him, not holding him back, slowing it down just a bit, because when he had the challenge, I was expecting somebody to come out and to see to challenge him. The question is going to be, who is that person that is going to challenge him first, and that's why I was asking, do we see him maybe at Backlash? Um, I don't think that we do. Because I'm trying to think. Didn't you say on the pod last week that we have 2 or 3 pay-per-views this week? I mean, this month.
Yeah.
I,
So we have Backlash in 2 weeks,
hmm
right?
Or
And
no,
then we
next
have
weekend.
Saturday Night Main Event, I think the same weekend as Memorial Day weekend. And then we have Clash in Italy, which is May 31st. So you have 3 PLEs divided within
Jeez.
3 months of each other.
So,
So
so
that's why
yeah. See, okay, so now, so you have 3 within the month, which is extremely a lot. Heck, I'm starting to wonder if they're starting to treat some of these PLEs like house shows. Um,
I think Saturday Night Main Event is a glorified house show. To tell you the
yeah.
truth, nothing really happens on them, and they're just kind of predictable matches. So it's very much just like just stick it out, see where it goes, and you figure it out from there.
Yeah, Obafemi is going to be an interesting character going forward, because I do want to see who he goes up against. I can see the Goldberg build a little bit, or the Goldberg run. Um, I just hope people don't get tired of it quick.
Well,
The f- the first
I
person that I thought of, the first person I thought of facing Obafemi as far as a major player was, man, man,
they're all intertwined in stories.
yeah. I
See,
was
and
think
and
I
this
was
is,
thinking Bronson Reed when he comes back.
but the
I was
problem is,
thinking Bronson Reed, but
the only problem is he's not coming back until September. And
yeah,
there was a report that came out today saying that um they want to put him on the list of Roman Reigns opponents for him holding the championship, having championship matches. So when that came out, that's why I said I think he's going to hold that belt all the way to WrestleMania. Because if you're planning
Yeah.
Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship, you're going to have to get to at least at minimum August, because he got hurt in February and he tore his bicep and he's out 6 to 8 months. So you're going to have to
Yeah.
get to August and like at most September. And then even then,
Yeah.
what do you do with this guy you have as white hot? What do you do with Braun Breaker? What do you do with Seth Rollins? Even like there's so many, and the problem is with Oba's an amazing talent and he's white hot, obviously, but there's not enough guys to throw at him. They're not intertwined in stories, and there's not enough guys that you can say, well, they can afford to take a loss here because
Mm-hmm.
there's just a lack of mid card guys. Like you're gonna throw Rusev at him again? Okay, great. Rusev's with Penta. You're gonna throw who else? You gonna throw at him? There's no one. Everyone is intertwined on something on Monday Night Raw, unless you send them to SmackDown and you have them fight somebody over there, make them an attraction for both shows. But again,
Yeah.
you run the risk of overexposing him. So it's almost kind of like, what's
Well
your
then,
plan?
then, if that's the case, do you send him over to SmackDown for a while then?
I think they should, because SmackDown got hit pretty hard. If we're being
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
they got a bunch of NXT call ups coming, and they're gonna get CM Punk. I think they're gonna get CM Punk. They got Rhea Ripley, and they need something to kind of shake up the roster a little bit, right? Because it can't just be Randy Orton as the top heel in the show with his bad back. Cody's my guy, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
again, there's only so many people he can go through too. So eventually, you're gonna have to find different people to throw at them. That's why I don't really like the status of like the mid card with everything, especially with the cuts that just happened recently. I don't know
Yeah.
what's your opinion on that, but
I was kind of okay. I was kind of shocked by that. And real quick, I'll give you guys an update on what happened there. So TKO, because I think this was more of a TKO move than a WWE move, with some of the roster cuts that happened, which included Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Sari Zari Kane, excuse me, and the YS6. To me personally, I think the YS6 was the one that I think needed to go the most, because they really weren't doing anything. To me, it felt like more like tribute matches to Bray Wyatt. I honestly, I didn't feel some type of way. Aleister Black was one that I if that story was true about them by including him, and I think was it a Cody Randy match or whatever. If that was true, it was something. It was a story that came out a while back. I think right after WrestleMania, that talked about how they were looking to include Randy. Oh, not Randy or Aleister
you're like
Black
in like
in,
the you're like in like the
like he was going to be the one that was going to be speaking to Randy Orton, not Pat McAfee. It was something
yeah.
along those lines. And if that's true, I think that was a waste of opportunity, and maybe that's why they didn't do it, because they knew that they were going to cut him. I think that would have definitely given him something to do. Um, Selena, or rather, Zelina Vega getting cut was kind of a shocker there, but I guess they figured that since they're a couple, I guess they might as well both go. But no, SmackDown got hit hard. I mean, they got gutted pretty good, and and man, I mean, SmackDown was already kind of in the toilet anyway for like the last few months. Roster cuts like this definitely hurts.
Yeah.
Um, you and I were kind of talking before the show started about how they're probably going to get some good call up, or no, NXT is going to get some good call ups, but SmackDown should be getting some call ups soon, and I hope they do, and I hope it's good quality call ups. And that's why I think, maybe moving Obafemi over to SmackDown, to your point, helps them out, because of the simple fact, if you got all these cuts over here and SmackDown's already dragging, you need some eyeballs over there. I think Raw is good right now. I think you need some eyeballs over there on SmackDown. And I think
Yeah.
him, and I know Oba said at WrestleMania during the post show that the tribal chief wants some, he can get some. But I think right now, put him on SmackDown, and maybe have him, have him look at Trick Williams. Maybe have him, although I don't think they will, but maybe have him look at Trick down the line, maybe Carmelo, maybe kind of establish some of that NXT rivalry that they had a while back. But maybe have him take a look at Cody Rhodes and see what he does there. I SmackDown might be the best option for him right now at this point. Because I think Raw, I think he could get lost in the shuffle on Raw because you have Seth and Braun Breaker, Roman, and excuse me, and Jacob, and now that's another thing. Jacob is Jacob going to move over to Raw now? Excuse me,
Yeah.
because he's taking on Roman. So I think SmackDown could be the viable option for Open Femi going forward.
And the thing I find going to the cuts, the Aleister Black one is kind of makes no sense to me because what you're doing is you're essentially cutting mid-card guys that you can use, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand like there's only so much time for everybody, and I understand that. But at some point when you have a bunch of call-ups that are coming in and they need to be established, Trick Williams, Ricky Saints is going to SmackDown. If you bring Oba to SmackDown, Trick Williams is over already. But if you have a small roster with guys that you can't necessarily afford to lose because you lose momentum, it's very hard. And it's not a big shelf to really work with here. So that's why, like, I feel like when they cut these people who have the chance to be lower mid-card or legit the middle of the mid-card, you're just dumbing down your roster because, well, we could just run the best match available. But the problem is when you run the best match available, you're creating a who can afford to lose problem. Like, say Ricky Saints, for example, right? Ricky Saints comes in and he loses his first feud. All that momentum that he might have going forward might be a bit slowed. If he loses another one, it's going right down and right down. So that's why they kind of I feel like they have to pick and choose why they cut people. Like, you can get rid of the guys you don't use, in a sense. But again, you need jobbers too. So that's why I don't understand these cuts.
Matter of fact, here was another one. It was the Motor City Machine Gun. They got cut. Santos Escobar, Apollo Cruz, Zoe Stark, Fire, and Andre Chase. So those are that was the talent that was released this month. And I'm wondering, are more going to be released within the coming weeks or so? That's what I'm wondering.
Andre Chase was an NXT guy. He wasn't really going to do much. He was part of Chase University. I don't know if it still exists or not. I haven't kept up on NXT in a while. Zoe Stark, really good in-ring talent. Couldn't really be a great promo, I guess. She tried. Yeah. She tried, but, it happens, right? And obviously with the people that they have on the roster, it's very tough to come by. Kairi Sane, reports are that she just wanted to move back to Japan. So that would make sense, right? The ones that made no sense to me are the guns. I feel like the Motor City Machine Guns made no sense. I feel like they didn't really use them enough. Underutilized as well. I'm trying to think. The Wyatt Six, look, again, there's only so much you can really do with them to an extent. The problem is that I feel like you kind of just put them in there with the MFT, and it went nowhere for 6 months because there was just a boring buildup. And like I was saying this back in November, this ties into Aleister Black too. In November, they had Cody and Aleister Black face each other in the ring. I said at Survivor Series, let Aleister Black fight Cody Rhodes. Get the champion on the card. And in the War Games match, it was obviously the Samoan Cinematic Universe and CM Punk against Team Breaker and them. But I feel as if that the MFT should have been a part of the War Games match with the Wyatt Six. Because you need to build up a certain feud to make it believable. And I don't understand why they didn't really attempt to do that. I don't know why they didn't say, hey, let's put them in there. And it draws back to the point of, well, they're not a draw. I'm like, well, you don't try to make them a draw. You don't try to establish new superstars. Like the MFT was kind of dead on arrival for a little bit once they lost Jacob. You know, he
Mhm.
won in Night of Champions last year when beat the title for Jacob. But like, it's just Solo and the cronies. Like, it's just like it just doesn't do anything, and it just sucks because Solo to me kind of carried SmackDown for a little bit after Roman went away, right?
Oh, I agree.
As one of the top heels in the company on SmackDown, and they gave him the crew to go with it. They gave him Jacob. They gave him Tama Tonga. They gave him the GOAT Tongaloa. They gave him all these guys. But you didn't do anything after that. You have their faces painted like they're the dead presidents from the movie. Like what are you doing? Like, I'm sorry. Like, you put it on them, and then you say, well, we want you to feud with the Wyatt Six, but we're not really going to give attention. We're just having focus around the Lancer. Why not do more with them? Put them in a 4-on-4 match. Put them in the War Games match. Like, there's things you could do, and they just kind of sat there and just said, "No, we're good. We're good, man." But
Well,
again,
that goes to creative, not necessarily knowing what to do with them. I guess they all were like, I guess they were all like the Road Dog. They got something there. I just don't know what it is. Um, what you know, the tag team division,
it's a joke.
and it is a joke. The Street Profits, they're back. They've been back the last 2 weeks on Raw. Maybe that'll help jumpstart on Raw. SmackDown, I'm telling you, man, right now, and I've said this more times than I have fingers and toes. You need you need your tag team division to be good because eventually your tag team division is going to elevate everybody else. Because if you have good tag teams, chances are that division's going to be good, or they're going to split, and it's going to help the it's going to help them as single stars either on Raw or SmackDown. So you need your tag team division to be good. Um, as far as man, I don't know, man. I don't know. They're going to have to figure out something and
Yeah,
quick, fast, in a hurry,
yeah. Like,
because
and
with these cuts that just happen, and and you know what? To your point, if you're not using them, then get rid of them. But if there's potential there and you're not using them, I think that's the frustrating thing when you know that there's potential to be used there, but you don't give them anything to, you know,
do anything with.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like back in October last year, they had the Guns, they had Fraction, they had DIY, they had the Street Profits, they had all these tag teams. They had the Wyatt Six with the belts, and they just sat. They had Andrade and Ray Phoenix. They had that. That's another tag team they had, and they just sat there and said, "We don't know what to do with them." Like, what do you mean, you don't know what to do with them? Like, it almost kind of gets to a point when it's like you look at how they build their shows, and it's like they look at tag team wrestling, and it's like, nah, we'll just push this off to the side and let's focus on Cody and the main superstars and singles matches. But
Well,
again, like you said, tag teams are usually create stars. Show up the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty. Look at the Hardys. Jeff Hardy became bigger than Obama in 2008. That's a joke, by the way. That's a trending joke online. If anybody doesn't know that, I'm not serious about that. It's a trending joke. Matt Hardy became his own guy. You know, the broken Matt Hardy. Granted, it was years later, but still, he found single success. He was a cruiserweight champion for a little while and stuff like that. Look at the Dudleys and TNA, even though it was never WWE. TNA, Bubba Ray was a multiple time champion in TNA. Devon Dudley had his gimmick. That's how Batista got brought into the business because he was,
hmm
when Devon was the deacon, he had Batista behind him holding the box. I'm trying to think of the box the churches use, the Christian,
uh,
the
uh,
parish connections.
the not offering box, the prayer box.
The prayer box, yeah. They had they put the donation box. They put the
Yeah,
money in the
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Donation box. I'm
So
sorry.
so like you use that to build guys to make them like relevant in like building of the company. And it's like, well, we don't know what to do with them. We're just not putting enough effort into it. Like
Well,
at some point,
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the Street Profits now that they're back.
I think them and Logan Paul and Austin Theory are gonna be kind of intertwined throughout the entire summer. Because I feel like you need to get the Street Profits kind of back into the swing of things because they haven't been seen on TV since October.
hmm
So it wouldn't shock me if they kind of go on a little bit of a run. And I think, to tell you the truth, I could see them kind of going back and forth probably until June, maybe. But again, it depends on what they want to do with the tag division. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos come back into it too at some point because you're not going to run Logan Paul and Austin Theory against the Usos for the entire summer. So you might as well put the Street Profits in there and shake it up a little bit because the Street Profits and the Usos had good matches on SmackDown a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years ago. So at least you throw a different tag team at them, right? Um, but yeah, the tag team division's a mess. It's a shame because it, like you
Yeah,
said, it develops superstars and they just don't care enough about it. They kind
they
of just say
don't.
sink or swim. And when half these talents sink, it's like, well, we have no one else to know because you're not giving them enough time to do anything.
Exactly. Um, yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I can say. We'll see because there's really nothing else to say. Braun Breaker came out. He confronted Seth Rollins. They had. I thought Seth Rollins cut a good promo. Really broke him down toward the end of their meeting. Um, I would like to see this feud carry on throughout the summer as well too. Maybe culminate at SummerSlam. I would like to
I
see.
think so. I think so too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think. I think. Yeah, I think SummerSlam could be the culmination of this feud. Because WWE has already announced three matches for Backlash: Roman, Jacob, Oscar and Io, and then Braun and Seth. Those are the three matches that they've announced already. So, um, yeah, I'm actually I like this feud. I think, a matter of fact, man, kind of wish this feud was at WrestleMania, but injuries happen and so forth and so on. But we're getting that Backlash. I think. Hmm, I think Seth might actually beat him at Backlash.
well, I think it's a trilogy. So I think it's a three match parter.
Hmm.
Um, I think you'll get a match at Backlash. Obviously, you're going to get a match at Night of Champions in June, the end of June. Granted, whatever happens in Saudi Arabia, obviously we all know the geopolitical status of the world. Who knows what's going on over there right now, right? Okay.
Hmm.
And then I think it culminates to SummerSlam because it
Yeah.
gives them enough time to kind of develop the feud, and they tend to make Braun Breaker a destroyer, right? So I could definitely see them to buy time leading up into it, have him take Rollins out again, stuff like that along the way, and create kind of like something like that, right? One of the other things I'm interested to see in too is again, this is a feud where I feel like either one of these guys really can afford to lose. So that's where things get very interesting
Okay.
because
Okay. So do you put maybe at Braun Breaker? I mean, do you maybe have a count out at their first match then, or DQ or something like that?
I think I think Breaker wins the first one,
Okay.
right? I I think Rollins wins the next two.
Okay.
I don't see it, and that's the problem because they're so one's the future of the company, and one is going to get a title shot against Roman at some point. So it's almost kind of like, how do you? Where's the logistics here? Because if if Seth Rollins loses these matches, he's bulletproof as it is, right? But if
Hmm.
he loses these matches, is he going to go right to Roman Reigns after losing to Braun Breaker? It makes no sense, right?
Right.
Usually
Right.
the guy that wins goes to face Roman at that point. So, and if Breaker, the same thing. He's the future of the company. Are you going to have him lose to Seth Rollins twice? I mean, granted, he's going to be protected too. He's kind of somewhat bulletproof because he's the future, one of the future faces of the company. But you have to build him up too. So there's very little wiggle room that they have to decide here between who goes over, who doesn't go over at this point. That's the one thing I'm worried
Mm.
about.
Okay. So okay. So you're saying you're thinking Braun wins the first one, then Seth wins the next two.
Yes.
See, I'm thinking Seth wins the first one, Braun wins the second one, and Seth closes it out. at
It's definitely
SummerSlam.
that's probably a possibility too. But we also have to that also depends if they run a second. That also depends if they run 3 matches as well.
Yeah, yeah. If they
I
run 3 matches, yeah, okay.
I feel as if they're going to, but if they do, it's obviously they have a schedule. It's um Backlash, Night of Champions, and then it's going to be SummerSlam. So I think that's your 3 match schedule. But I don't know which way they really go with it because I'm curious to see which direction they go
Okay. Well, we know that match is going to take place at Backlash, as well as Kyrie Zane. Oh, not Kyrie Zane. Good lord, Asuka and Io Sky. This is going to be. They've been feuding for shoot, it seems like forever, but for some months. Well, actually, some years. It's back to their damage control days and stuff. But uh, yeah, that'll be a good match. I think that'll be a good match at Backlash between those two. Uh, before I get to Roman and Jacob Fatu, how many matches do you think will be at Backlash? Because Hunter likes to go
in.
about five. Yeah, just three so far. Excuse me. He likes to go five. Excuse me. I'm thinking six, but it wouldn't surprise me at five. But I'm thinking six. Four.
I think 4 to 5 is their sweet spot usually with these things. Um, I think the other match realistically should be Trick Williams against Sami Zayn for the United States Championship again,
Hmm.
because I feel like that's the only kind of real strong feud you have on SmackDown that can kind of be on the PLE at this point.
Hmm.
Cody's not wrestling, Randy's not there, Drew's not there. You don't have anything on SmackDown except that right now. So I feel like that needs to be put at the forefront of the show for the time being, because as long as Cody could be on TV, but he's not wrestling, his orbital bone is shot. So
Hmm.
I feel like Trick Williams and Sami Zayn need to be the front of the card for this point going forward. And to be honest with you, I really didn't even watch SmackDown because it's been I get home late on Fridays and I have to be up at 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. So more often than not, I've been kind of just going through the motions, just checking the show. I didn't really check this past week, so I don't really know what happened because I came home and went right to
Well,
sleep.
Tiffany Stratton is she beat
Oh,
Julia for the belt.
don't
Yeah.
even get me started with this. So like, look, I'm just again, this is my Adam Pierce moment. I need a drink moment here. Um, I don't understand how they can't find a way to make Julia look like a Terminator. I don't get it. She was literally built up to be a Terminator. In Japan and in NXT, they made her invincible and stuff like that. I believe the problem is that unfortunately, wrestling fans need a WWE fans. Let me put it this way, because I tend to watch all the shows. And this is no shot at people that only watch WWE. This is just how I perceive it from watching multiple shows. WWE fans kind of need like crowd interaction to kind of get behind superstars sometimes, and I feel like they need like that like level of connectability, right? I don't know if Julia necessarily presents that at times, and that's why they
Hmm.
try putting her with Kiana James to make it work. Because at
And
least they get.
that's what worries me with these roster cuts. Is she next on the chopping block?
I don't. I hope not, because she is an amazing talent and she could really
Yeah.
put on some good matches.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, to tell you the truth, they should really run Julia versus Rhea. They should, because I think if you put Julia in a spot where she's with an actual wrestler, I think you'll get great matches. You might as well try it because you're
At
just
this point, yeah.
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 And even the SmackDown on the women on SmackDown are pretty good too. You got Stratton, you got Jordan Grace, you got JC Jane, the newest call up with Fatal Influence. By the way, Fatal Influence is going to be kind of like the female version of the Judgment Day on SmackDown to me, in a
Okay.
sense, because you have the 3 women on each show. JC Jane is very underrated. Doesn't get a lot of credit. She's a great promo. A great promo. Probably the second best on SmackDown right now, right? Her in-ring work is really solid too. And the other two, Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley, are really good in the ring too. So at least you give SmackDown a credible three women that actually can come in and wrestle now, right? So that's good. Jordan Grace can obviously wrestle, and stuff like that. So at least you have some foundation pieces to build off of. And I
Would
believe
you
Blake.
have would you have put Sol Ruka on SmackDown or kept her
Yes,
or just okay.
I
Okay.
would. I'll put her on SmackDown because I think SmackDown needed talent, and I know Monday Night Raw kind of needed it as well. But I feel like Soul's like character kind of fits SmackDown too as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that would have been a little bit better. But obviously, I think she was the more athletic one on NXT, obviously. So
Hmm.
you could definitely spruce up the athleticism on your roster on the women's side of Monday Night Raw by adding her there. So, and she again, same thing. Promos are good, very good, very athletic in the ring, and that'll help her along the way. And she has a great crowd interaction with people, so it'll take her a very long way in WWE as it stands.
Well, let's go ahead and jump to the big story: Roman against Jacob. This is part of the Samoa Cinematic Universe, as James likes to call it, the SCU. And we now have, we now know that Jacob said that he needs pretty much what Roman has. He needs it. He needs it. Not so much the belt, but he needs all that comes with it. I do like the fact that Roman's told him last week and kind of reemphasized it a little bit this week. Hey, you need to understand what's the burden that comes with being the champion, especially the heavyweight champion, and being in my position. You need to understand what comes along. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with this. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and Jacob's not ready for that. I think Jacob. I think this storyline takes us through the summer as well too. We could potentially see this end at SummerSlam, maybe, maybe.
I think this is a two and done kind of scenario, because there's only so much time that you could have lined up for these guys,
Hmm.
and I feel like as if Jacob only has really two matches to figure this out. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean that because I believe the timeline is going to be Jacob, Gunther, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, WrestleMania. I think that's your timeline of matches, and a Bronson Reed match in there as well, because obviously the report of him wanting Bronson Reed being on his short list of opponents or whatever that was.
For Roman,
So
right? For
for
Roman, right?
Roman, so
Okay.
you have matches in place. So I think Jacob is not getting the short end of the stick here, but I think he's going to end up being like the guy that gets like the beginning trial of this,
Hmm.
because we want to see what it looks like when he's actually in there fighting for the championship. And he's using a new persona, not a new persona, but he's showing a different side to his character, you
Hmm.
know. And I believe that's what they're trying to get here, because he's always kind of been that tweener kind of babyface heel guy with the with Solo, and then obviously he is a babyface with the whole lone Samoan werewolf thing. So this is a different side of his character that they're trying to develop, and I feel like this is a good way to kind of get it in place with him.
But
So
I
this is a
did
good
feel
spot.
like I did feel like Roman's promo was a little heelish. It felt on Monday. It did feel a little heelish. I mean, it
It
wasn't, but
it was
it had
never
the
going to
feeling.
change.
Hmm.
It was never going to change. Once he got the belt back, I said it. I said it to you, and I said it to Fair. It was going to be the same thing. The bloodline was going to be the same thing. Obviously, now they're doing more to-be like stuff in the background with them,
Hmm.
with the widescreen, the 16:9 and stuff instead of backstage segments. And even that, too. Jay said, hey, we can't trust Jacob. He's unhinged. The good cop and the bad cop on Roman's shoulders and stuff like that at the beginning of the episode. So now you're seeing that come into play, that Jay's right and he's listening to them for advice. The thing I found interesting, though, I guess Jimmy and Jacob left the build. Jimmy and Jacob. Jimmy and Jay left the building on
Hmm.
Monday because I don't see how they let Roman kind of get attacked like that if they're there.
Yeah.
Um, and that was the first time I seen the tongue and death grip live in person in my life.
Wait,
So
hold on. Well, here's the crazy part, James. When it happened, I thought at first I thought it was the mandible claw. I was like, wow, I haven't seen that move in a minute. And then I was like, wait a minute, his hand's not in his mouth. I was like, what the hell did he do? Yeah, that's the first. I think that's the first time I've seen that in a long time. It's been a minute.
Ming used to use it in WCW, but
Hmm.
that was in like the late '90s.
Yeah.
I know about that because I watched Ming from just watching the Nitros and COVID. But the fact that they're giving him that move as a new finisher also kind of helps because now you're giving him new persona. Because the Mighty Moonsault's a great move, but it's
Hmm.
more fitted for a babyface. If you give him the tongue and death grip, that's a heel way to beat somebody almost. A submission's a very heel way to beat somebody.
Hmm.
So you give a different layer to his character, which I enjoy. The problem is though, is he's not winning. So
No. Yeah. Yeah.
where do you go? Where do you go from here? Is he just going to be a bad guy chasing after the belt from this, or are you just trying to see what it's like? I have so many questions. Not that I know I had a problem with it to begin with because obviously it looks like literally they're just running back the same shit that they did 6 years ago. When I'm pretty sure Roman's first opponent was Jimmy. How this one's first opponent is Jacob. So they're really just throwing people out there at the same time almost. Um, but where does he go after this too? Is the same question. Do you have Jay kind of go feud against him? You know, do you have Jimmy do it, or is there is so, it, speaking of which, actually, does the MFT get involved a little bit more? Because obviously in the promo, like we said, he mentioned Solo was the one who brought him in. So
Hmm.
now does Solo come back and say, "Come back to us. Come back to us. We need you here. I'm the one that brought you in." He's the real tribal chief for everyone that's listening or will listen to this on Friday. Solo's the real tribal chief, not Roman Reigns.
uh, no, two match, and with all the guys that you just mentioned, yeah, this could be the gauntlet for Roman going forward. Because here's my question: Do you when do you put Seth against Roman? Do you do that for Mania, or do you do that for Rumble or Survivor Series? Like when?
I believe that's a Survivor Series or a Royal Rumble match
Okay.
because we know Saudis and we know WrestleMania's in Saudi.
Hmm.
We know damn well. I know damn well they're gonna end up getting Cody and Roman part three.
Yeah, probably.
That's how I think they'll book it. So, and again, it'll just culminate the fact that every great feud needs every feud on that level. Rock, Austin, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, Sting and Flair. They need that match, that rubber match, to get them through, right? And I believe
Hmm.
if they do that, Cody and Roman can etch their name as one of the better feuds of the company's history.
Yeah.
John Cena, Randy Orton as well.
So okay, so you're saying Royal Rumble, Survivor Series probably for that for because that'll be the third match that they've had, right? Would that be the third match?
Cody and Roman, yeah.
No. For Roman and Seth.
Um, I don't even know. I'm bad with memories up until the late early 2010 the 20s.
I think that's the.
So
I think I can't remember.
I don't
I have to
really
look it
know.
up.
Yeah.
I have to look it up. But no, I do like what Jacob what they had Jacob do, choke him out. At least it gives the impression that hey, Roman, I'm taking this thing serious, bro. All right, I'm coming for that title. I mean, we know that Roman's going to win, but he pretty much by him doing that move, that's letting Roman know I'm on your heels, and I will do whatever I can to try to get that belt, so that way I can have access to the shoe deal, to the the interviews with Pat McAfee or late night with Jimmy Fallon or whatever the case may be. So I do like that, but yeah, I agree with you. I think we know that he's going to lose the match. The question comes in: does he lose? How does he lose it? That's my question. Does he get
I
interference
No, I think he
from?
loses. I think he. That's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos get involved again
Hmm.
because they need to keep the belt around him. Not like how it was old times and we're back together and all these things. Like I need you guys on my side, and now we're sitting at this table, and you're telling me the good thing and the bad thing, and what we should do and how we should do it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they help him. I also wouldn't be surprised if they try to write Jacob off a little bit too, in the sense
Hmm.
of he's unhinged. He's the crazy one. I
Hmm.
can call back to a excuse me, I can call back to a promo cut by Jey Uso to Solo when he told him, "Why'd you bring him in? There's a reason we stayed away from him. There's a reason why we didn't call him." You can easily go back into that with that because Jimmy, Jay, and Roman can easily take him out to get him out of the equation because of how he is. He's unhinged. He's crazy.
You know what?
Type.
I just thought about it. If they do decide to go 3 matches, if they do with Jacob and Roman, it might end at Clash.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, not Clash. At Night of Champions.
that's definitely possible too. But I don't see them. I still don't see them really continuing on past. I think that's the latest point of it. I
Hmm.
think that is the bar minimum, the latest point it'll get to because you you have to kind of space these out. But the problem is, there's only so many people for him to face, and if he has that list of opponents that might be true, how are you going to logistically fit them all in?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Well, we shall see what's going to happen. But no, Raw was a good solid show. Your boy LA Knight got some camera time. Yeah, with
yeah,
the Usos. So uh matter of fact, I'll ask you this as we prepare to close. What is going to be what do you think they're going to do with LA Knight? Do you put him back in the mid
I
card scene, like towards the IC title or something, or what?
I think he's going to get fed to Gunther. Um, for the time being, I believe they kind of view him as the guy that can kind of do it in the similar role that Chelsea Green has right now with the company,
Mhm.
which is we can put him in any situation and he can shine kind of role. So I think they'll do that um, with him along the way. The Intercontinental title scene is kind of rough because it's already kind of packed up as it is. You have Ethan Page, you have Rusev, you have Penta, you have Javon Evans. You have a lot of different guys in there right now. If you try to fit him in there, who's falling out for him? That's
You're
the
right,
problem.
right.
Maybe they send him back to SmackDown. Maybe I don't know because
Hey, that's an option. I
yeah,
mean,
I think
it'll
I
be
think they
nice.
I think they could do that for them. One of the biggest things I will say too along the way before we also get out of here is LA Knight's been on them, on the Usos, saying, "I like you guys, but you're reverting back to the same old shit that you were doing when I was shooting a Roman. Now you're all buddy buddy with him, like he didn't treat you like nothing when he was running around with the belt. Now you're going right back to his side. He's the only one that sees through it right now. So maybe they do Jay versus LA Knight again, maybe. But again, you're running back the same match you've been running back for the past since last September. So what do you really do with him at this point on Raw? You might almost kind of have to send them back at some point and say, "Look, we got nothing left for you." Um, it's a shame because I think he was on a trajectory to be not a world champion, but he was on that upper mid card level of
Mhm.
stuff, right on that borderline of main event scene. And it almost kind of feels like they just sat there and said, "Oh, well, I just don't think he has it anymore." So, there goes that. Um, and before we go, I just also want to point out for anybody that watches NXT, we
Mm.
made the point about the call ups, Ricky Saints, Soroka, Fatal Influence, stuff like that. They got a couple of good people coming into the company. A lot of people may or may not know. So they got Lizzie Rain, who is a heavy metal kind of gimmick character, very big indie following, stuff like that. So she's gonna be fine. They got a new superstar to replace Soroka, right? On the men's side of the thing, they got the former IWGP champion Evil, who looks like he's going to be feuding with Tony D'Angelo. Evil is a really good wrestler as well, really good in-ring worker. Good for him because he gets to start off in NXT, instead of being thrown on the main roster and getting lost in the shuffle. And you kind of give him the opportunity to grow into learn WWE style. And last but not least, he's big, he's bad, and he'll body slam your dad. Will Cruz is NXT found. He was the guy that did the moonsault. He did the moonsault to Tony D'Angelo on Tuesday, and I think he's going to get over with the fans in NXT very quickly. I think he's going to be a major player in the company. He's different. He's athletic. He's a big husky dude, like big and husky. But he could do moonsaults. He could do Spanish flips. His moveset is insane. Like it's crazy. He's done a lot of work in the English independent scene.
Mm-hmm.
Very good in-ring worker. Can almost kind of work any kind of style you need him to. For a guy his size, it's almost kind of like a Keith Lee kind of guy. Hopefully Keith Lee. This version of Keith Lee does a little better. Unfortunately, Keith Lee in WWE kind of just, it is what it is. But Will Cruz is amazing. I think people are going to get their eyes open to him very quickly if they book him the right way. So I think NXT is going to be good hands with the losses of what they have. They still have Lola Vice. They still have
Jada Parker,
Ren Sinclair, and Kalani, Jada Parker, Kalani Jordan, Kendall Gray is really good, obviously. And then even on the men's side, you lost Ricky Saints, you lost Javon Evans, you lost trying to think, Ethan Page, Trick Williams. You lost a lot of guys, but I think if they pay attention to the indie scenes and they sign the right guys, I think they'll just be replaced just like this. But Will Cruz is the guy. Will Cruz Cross is the guy to look out for this company because I believe he'll be a major player at some point in WWE.
Definitely. I gotta get back on NXT. I fell off. I gotta get back on there. I think I have a DVR. Not sure, but I gotta get back on there. Well, that will conclude tonight's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys follow us on X, Twitter, whatever you call it, at WWTB 2024. That is also our YouTube channel. So hit that like and subscribe button. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. So when we go live, like we are now, you will be notified. For James, our wonderful executive Smitty, I am Chris. You all take care. Have a good one. We will see you back here next week when we will give you our picks for Backlash, and probably only be 4 of them because James said it'll only be 4 matches. I'm saying 5. I think it'll be 5. 5 might be the minimum or maximum, rather. I think 5 is the max.
At Backlash. at Backlash.
Backlash. Smitty, hit the music,
man.
Go ahead,
everybody.
Yo, what up? Welcome to the 12th episode. I remember this time. 12th episode of Wrestling with the Bros.
challenge us.